always have fun on NASCAR America. Speaking of having fun, Alexander Rossi certainly did at Long Beach, cruising to the win for the second year in a row. He led all but 5 laps, AJ, and won by more than 20 seconds.
Whatever it is about this place, he's just got it dialed in.
I think he's still leading laps at Long Beach. But while Rossi had things covered up front, things got interesting on the final lap. There it is. Scott Dixon, Graham Rahal. What that, Parker?
Not a block. Not a block.
IndyCar got involved. They took third place from Graham Rahal, gave it to Scott Dixon. Obviously, a little controversy at the end of the Long Beach race. So, Nate, I want to go to you first because after all that, and we went off the air on NBCSN, you were able to talk to Graham and Scott. So what did you learn from both of them?
And we talked to Bob Rahal as well after he came out of the trailer. So, yeah, Graham Rahal, we talked to him after he'd seen the replay and after he visited the IndyCar officials trailer. And he just felt as if, look, it was not a block. It was a block in the sense of he made a move, but Graham felt he was allowed that move and he was allowed to make it when he did it. Graham kind of hinted this was a reputational call that IndyCar had made because it was Scott Dixon, 5-time champion. Graham said, hey, at Austin, Dixon did this to me and I didn't say anything, and maybe I should have gone to IndyCar and complained more. So I think Graham feels like as if it's not Scott Dixon and if IndyCar isn't watching it this closely, racing for third on the final lap, maybe they don't make this call, and maybe they should have made this call.
And Scott used the word dangerous move twice on the radio, which I think maybe made IndyCar react a little bit more.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, to the drivers, fair or foul on that call by IndyCar?
I am going to go foul because that is not, it is a block. As he said, it was a block, but it was completely allowed in the rules. You're allowed one move, and it's especially if it's proactive, which it was. He moved before Dixon's even fully off the corner and going right. He makes the block to the inside, then he does not go back to the outside and change his lane on the entry of the corner. Therefore, that is the one move he's allowed. He absolutely should not have been penalized for that, and I'm upset with IndyCar for a couple reasons, mostly, as he said, the consistency of these calls. But two, they've allowed themselves now to be in a position where they have to be consistent about calls, and they've put themselves in a position where they have to make more and more judgment calls. So I think for a series that, has very tight, close, open-wheel racing, there's no reason to get involved in a call like this when you've set the rule very simply that it's one move and that is it. And that's what he did. So I think that was a bad call by IndyCar. They should have never have taken that place away.
It's one move if the guy hasn't already made the move yet. So you're telling me Scott Dixon isn't looking under Graham Rahal off this corner?
So look at this.
He's looking.
No,
he's looking.
Scott
Just
Dixon
drive him down the
way
wall.
Out.
Okay.
And he also was able to push the pass, so he accelerated harder, which you cannot anticipate someone accelerating that much harder.
Really? You can't anticipate that?
You can. I'm saying he proactively made the move, and then he obviously had more speed to get to that inside area.
Would I like IndyCar to make that call at the end of the race? No. For a podium spot especially, but it wasn't just clear cut. So call it what it is. Well, it's not that easy, Parker.
I find it well-timed that you spent time in race control.
I did,
this weekend
yeah.
with Kyle Novak.
Just happened to spend some time with race director Kyle Novak during second practice on Friday. Here's a photo from, that's what they use to adjudicate and officiate races. These are during practices, too. They have Ari Leyendyke and Max Pappas in there. They are the stewards. That's Ari there on the right, and they are judging these things. And in this instance, I was told that Ari Leyendyke and Max Pappas looked at this replay 4 or 5 times and made the call relatively quickly. And to AJ's point, Dixon said, look, he anticipated my move, and IndyCar told drivers in the meeting before the race that you are not necessarily allowed to do that. They had language in the ground rules that said you can't. But to Parker's point, I think it's still a judgment call. I mean, I think the Rahals still have some basis for their point here as well.
I don't like them making the call at the end of the race. I'm just saying that it's not like it just was some egregious move. He was driving him down to the wall. He
got to that portion where there was room, but I'm saying he would, if he didn't have the push pass, he never would have got there. Never would have got there.
But that's the series has pushed a pass.
No, but I'm saying at that point, he never got his nose into that area that he was filling. Right. Here's the other thing I'm going to say real quick.
They shouldn't have made the call for a podium spot. Right. Graham should have got the podium.
And that was Bobby Rahal's point.
Graham should have got the podium.
This would never happen in NASCAR. Bobby Rahal said he asked IndyCar officials, if you were NASCAR, would you make this call in the last lap? And they said, well, we're not NASCAR.
And my last problem with it is it seems like this is a rash or some sort of disease filtering through racing right now to want to have these calls and to be, to have judgment calls in terms of blocking and moves and contact. Get out. Let us race. That's it.
Well, in IndyCar's defense, this is really the first time they've kind of stepped up and made a call like that this year. So they've really kind of laid low for the most part. And Kyle Novak's said, I want to lay low. I don't want us to be part of the process. We move on. You guys all agree.
We already heard he blamed Max Pappas
and Townsend Bell as well. Hey, let's chat Team Penske. Here's where they stand going into the month of May. Joseph Newgarden has done everything he's wanted to in 2019. His worst finish is 4th this year. But check out these other two guys, AJ. Will Power, really, honestly, has had the best car in the first 2 races and only 1 podium to show for it, and Simon Pagenaud. So who's under more pressure at Team Penske, Will Power or Simon Pagenaud?
Simon Pagenaud for sure. Will Power, when you drive for the captain and you're the defending Indy 500 winner, then yes, you got a little leeway. And you said it right there. The fact is that Will Power's been really fast beginning of this year. Not a great strategy call at St. Pete, and that's why he finished 3rd.
Yep.
And then just an unlucky caution coming out, and then after that, the car breaking on pit road as he goes to leave. So
at Austin.
Now, the last 2 races, I've been shocked. Will has struggled a little bit, made a mistake at Long Beach. But Simon Pagenaud right now, he's just been not really showing a lot of speed. Long Beach was kind of the first signs of life of like, okay, there's some speed in there. But the thing is, anybody that knows Roger Penske, IndyCar racing is his love. Like he loves all forms of racing, but IndyCar racing is it for him. So who's ever the lead dog on the team is a big deal in the IndyCar Team Penske kind of area of what they're looking at. And Joseph Newgarden right now has basically been consistent. He's won a race, 2 seconds, and a 4th. So if you're the team leader at that point, no matter what's going on, it puts pressure on the other guys. And right now, Will's feeling it a little bit, but Simon Pagenaud is feeling it a lot.
And let's face it, Nate, at the beginning of the year, I mean, the Alexander Rossi to Penske rumors have been there even before the season started.
Right.
And they really picked up this weekend after the win. Do you think Simon's feeling that pressure?
I mean, I think it's interesting that AJ says signs of life behind the wheel, because I think we saw signs of life from Simon Pagenaud, like in his answers. In our interview on Friday, he was talking about, hey, I'm the champion. I'm still here. He said it again after he made the Fast 6 on Saturday. He was like, I'm still here. And somebody asked him, do you have a chip on your shoulder? Are you showing them more aggression? And he's like, hey, yes, I want to be fiery. I want to be aggressive. So he was still in a very good mood. And I think, AJ's point, he had a good weekend. But I think clearly there's a dynamic there where he is feeling some pressure. And I agree with AJ that the heat is more on him. And Will Power won the Indy 500 last year. And
so he's set.
Yeah,
he's good.
Like AJ said, Indy means everything to Roger Penske.
You at least get another year for an Indy 500 win. It's not home plate. Yeah.
This morning on the Today Show, 3 generations of Andretti, Mario, Michael, and Marco revealed a special throwback scheme that Marco will race next month in the Indy 500. Check that out, Parker. That's a cool car.
I love that.
That's Mario's car that he won in
orange
1969. But Marco's car they're going to unveil here is really cool. Look at that. Even the font's the same.
They will definitely have no problem spotting that.
Those 3 will be on the Tonight Show tonight with Jimmy Fallon. By the way, Colton Herta, 19 years old, his band. Yes, his band. He has a band, Parker. Why don't you have a band, Parker?
No music
Come on.
whatsoever.
The Zibs, their album dropped yesterday, so we're going to have them play us out with their new single, No Name. Parker, I'm disappointed you don't have a band. Very upset with you.